Hey, greetings everyone. This is Tony Holowitz, and I want to thank you for being here for this tutorial about ACT CRM and artificial intelligence. In this case, I'm going to be talking about ChatGPT. So I use ChatGPT, and I use it for personal reasons. I like to use it for writing. I might write something, put the information in ChatGPT and say, hey, can you rewrite this or just make it shorter, make it longer? I could do different things with it. So, artificial intelligence to me is something that's really interesting. What I find intriguing about it is the way people really think about using it. There seems to be so many experts out there on something that's brand new. And over time, I've found myself thinking about, okay, how can I get this tool to benefit ACT software users? And I've really sort of struggled with this because to a certain degree, when I think about ACT, I think about ACT like a business card. It's general, basic contact information. And when you look at that information, you have the name, you have the phone number, maybe a website, maybe an email address. How can I use ACT to utilize artificial intelligence to enhance the way I use ACT individually? So fundamentally, what I find in working with ACT users is a lot of times they don't have the data they need, or maybe there's data they would consider using to their advantage that if they could get it, it would be beneficial. Right now, I have a client that is in the real estate business, and this client wants to find information out about properties. So, thinking about properties and trying to give that person information, I thought about Zillow. And Zillow, as software, is a tool that can give you the value of a home. So, would it be beneficial if a real estate person had information about a property for a contact in their database? Maybe. But that's just one example. The other thing I thought about is YouTube. What if a contact has a unique YouTube channel? A contact, by default, has either a fairly ordinary name or a little bit more of an unusual name. Tony Holowitz is a little more unusual. John or Jill Smith is a little more common. So I think the advantage you would have if you were trying to find information on me is that because my name is a little more unique, the odds are there aren't a lot of people named Tony Holowitz in this world. And to the best of my knowledge, I'm the only one. Having said that, ACT and AI, artificial intelligence, it's wide open. So let me tell you a few thoughts I have in general as my experience working with ACT users. First and foremost, my experience has been that a lot of times ACT users don't really have a plan. They don't have their data organized. So because of that, I'm always confronted with, well, you have all this data, but it's not organized, so how can you work with it? So the first step, way before AI, is making sure your data is organized and you know what's in there. These are the reasons people work with me one-on-one consulting, because I look at these things and I give them approaches to make this an easy thing to do. So I work them through that. When you look at the screen right now, you'll notice I have basic contact information. The one thing missing, or actually I do have the email address here, and this is a made-up email address, is I have their email. So I could potentially call this contact, I could send them a letter, I could email them, I could visit their website to learn more. But what else can I do with this contact? Well, ACT Marketing Automation is a tool that's built inside of ACT. It's ACT's email program. 95% of ACT users, believe it or not, 95% of all ACT users don't even use that tool. To me, it's the best tool in ACT because it's a way to stay in touch with your customers, reach out to prospects, and generate some business right now, immediately. I can probably work with you for less than 30 minutes, generate an email, get it out there. And this is an example where in ChatGPT, I might say, okay, this person's in this industry. Let's create a very simple 3-line email that we could send out that can address my client's needs and concerns to get a well-written email together. But yet when the people on the other end get that email, it makes sense to them. That's a great case or a way to use AI or ChatGPT to help you write something. So having said that, before I'd even think about AI, if you're thinking about AI, first focus on what's right inside of ACT. Get your data organized. use ACT marketing automation. And if you've sort of really beat that up and you've worked it to death and you feel like there's something more, let me tell you where you could potentially take this. So this layout right here is one of the standard layouts. I'm going to change the layout real quick to another layout that I created. And I want you to observe that down here we have a field for LinkedIn, a field for Twitter, YouTube, and Zillow. Now, I just picked these four, but let me tell you the way I use the AI to work with ACT and this information you see right here. I took this information and I said, listen, for this particular contact, let's find all that information. And long story short, I got the information out to Excel. I wrote a little prompt in ChatGPT. I took this information from Excel and found all the information for LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and Zillow for myself. Now, YouTube, when you post these videos, they're concerned with privacy. So that's why I'm not showing what I did. But I was able to use myself as an example, send the information out to Excel, feed it to ChatGPT, and get my LinkedIn profile, Twitter profile, YouTube profile, and the Zillow information for my home. So this is an example of where you could potentially use AI and ACT. And frankly, it doesn't really have anything to do with ACT. It's just looking at ACT and asking the question of like, what information do I want here? What information do I need? What can make me better at my job when I have this information in front of me? Maybe I want to find the LinkedIn profile for all my contacts in my database. Can you do this? Yes, you can. So what you can do is you can take what's in ACT already, export it, get it into an Excel file, let it go to work through ChatGPT, and then merge the data back into ACT so it's only bringing in the new information. So this is where I find things like AI interesting, ChatGPT. I look at ACT and I say, what information would be compelling to have if I don't have it now? And that's why I think this is such an interesting, wide open concept. What you might find important, I might not think is, and vice versa. Yes, you can do a lot of stuff with ChatGPT, AI, there's even different tools, but it's the one I know today, and that's why I speak of that. So what I want you to go away from this video with is this. You have so many options, and it's wide open to your imagination and just talking about it and discussing it. So if you can sort of break it down in that respect, I think that is the best way initially to use AI with ACT. My opinion, my ideas, my thoughts. If you disagree or want to add to that, by all means, reach out to me. But those are my thoughts as of today, October of 2025. And the thing about this, that could change tomorrow. And that's what's fun about this. That's where we can get a little creative and have some fun with this. So I've been wanting to do this video for a while. I've been just trying to wrap my mind around it. I want to thank you for being here. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to get back to me. Okay, my friends, you have a great day. Thank you. Bye now.